Gaslighting can really drive you crazy. I'm saying all this only for your own good. Well, who else will tell you if not me? It all just seems to you. Are you okay with your head? Have you ever heard this addressed to you? Even if you didn't know the term gaslighting until now, you're almost 100% likely to have experienced this type of psychological abuse. My name is Alina Leoni. I'm a psychologist and psychotherapist, and my mission here is to help you better understand yourself and those around you. What is gaslighting? The origin of this term is associated with an old movie, Gaslight. It illustrates exactly how one person can cast doubt on the adequacy of another and practically drive him crazy, constantly refuting the reality of surrounding events. So, gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse in which denial plays a major role. Imagine the situation. In the heat of a quarrel, you say to your partner, "Do you remember how we agreed to go out of town this weekend?" And he answers you, "What are you talking about? There was nothing like that." You insist because you remember your conversation verbatim, but your opponent looks at you with bewilderment, making you doubt your own memory, adequacy, and even legal capacity. Or another example, you know for sure that your partner cheated on you. Moreover, you have real evidence, correspondence, texting, witness statements, photos, whatever. You ask him a direct question, giving him a chance to tell the truth. He confidently denies everything and then also accuses you of the fact that you are most likely cheating on him because lately you are always in a bad mood around him. If he is convincing enough, you will not only stop thinking that he is cheating on you, but you will begin to doubt whether you are good enough for him, and you will even try to fix it. Cleverly invented, right? These are terrible situations when close people systematically deny the realism of our perception. In everyday life, gaslighting can take different forms. For example, denial of facts. "What's wrong with you? This didn't happen." Denial of emotions. "Listen, you think you're sad, but in fact everything is fine. There is no reason for you to have this sour face." A constant reminder of inadequacy of your perception, hints of possible mental illness. For example, "We don't have problems. We won't go to a family psychologist. I'm fine." It's you who have problems. Something has been happening to you lately. Maybe you are deeply depressed. This manipulation can be used by partners in relationship to each other, friends, and even parents in relation to children. By the way, it's important to say that children are often victims of gaslighting. Growing up, they admit that such violence was worse than possible physical violence because they were instilled with something that actually doesn't exist. They were presented with claims that they had to believe sooner or later, like "You don't love anyone, you're strange, you're making it all up, no one really offends you." More examples. They try to convince the victim of her inadequate perception of reality, that she either remembered the event incorrectly or even made it up. "You invented everything for yourself, or you dreamed it. I never said that." Denial and devaluation. Gaslighter devalues achievements. For example, "Just think, I got a promotion, but before that, you sat in the same position for 3 years. You could have done better. Everyone can do this. Why do you feel so special?" Or denial of events. "I've never done that before." Denial of feelings. "Stop whining, get busy. You're always exaggerating. It all seemed to you, as always. You are so dramatic." Denial of emotions. States that you said or did something that you are sure you never said or did. He denies your memories of certain things, events. He can call you overly sensitive or even crazy when you oppose his version of events. He talks to others about your state of mind. He twists events to make you look guilty. He insists that he is exclusively right, and he never considers or takes into account your point of view. A gaslighter always wears a mask of friendliness and caring. The gaslighter claims that he genuinely cares about you, which is why he makes comments to you. He reinforces his advice with the phrase, "I'm trying for your own good. Who will tell you if not me?" Passing the buck. Even if you see through the gaslighter and point out his abnormal behavior, he will never admit his mistake. He will say something like, "I yelled at you because you don't understand any other way. You forced me." In a dispute, the purpose of an argument, in healthy relationships, of course, if we are talking of it, is to find out each other's points of view and come to a common opinion, or just part if you can't find a solution. Such a dialogue will contain the following phrases. Why don't you agree with me? Let's try to do it my way, and if it doesn't work, that we will do everything as you said. I'm not close to your decision. While with gaslighter, the manipulator's main goal is to demonstrate his superiority and instill you in a feeling of inferiority. You don't understand, I know better, shut up, I'll figure it out myself, and so on. These phrases sound systematic, and an attempt to challenge or discuss them will only cause rejection or new attacks or irritation in the gaslighter. The victim goes through stages in the process of gaslighting. First stage is denial. The victim notices that something is wrong but doesn't pay any attention because she believes, or he, that it's one-time misunderstanding that will never happen again. Second phase is doubt. The person begins to doubt himself and his perception of the situation. At the same time, he tries to prove his point of view and convince his opponent, but again and again he faces confrontation and new accusations. And the third stage is acceptance. The victim finally starts to believe that aggressor is right and he is wrong, and only she or he is to blame in everything that's happening. She agrees with gaslighter, hoping that this will change the situation, and finally she will earn his approval. But gaslighting is an absolute impossibility of constructing a healthy dialogue. Without healthy dialogue, healthy relationships are impossible. The gaslighter will not change. To change, he will have to admit not only that he was wrong, but also his conscious manipulation, so he will never do it. Because the last thing in the world a manipulator is ready to take off his mask. Therefore, any attempt at open dialogue will be perceived as an attack on his interests and will be met with even greater aggression. Thus, he makes you believe that you yourself are to blame. The problem is not in his manipulation, but in your behavior, with which you provoke his reactions. This often leads the victim of gaslighting to serious psychological and emotional problems. Gaslighting can really drive you crazy. The famous psychiatrist and psychotherapist Ronald Lane, in his book Madness: Family Roots, experienced conversations with patients of schizophrenia. For example, the reasons for the obvious deterioration in the psycho-emotional state of patients were the phrases that they heard in their childhood. "I know that you didn't really think so. You thought that way, but you wanted something else." Or, "I know that you didn't mean it because you wanted to say," and then the explanation what he wanted to say follows. Most often, the victims of gaslighting develop anxiety and depressive disorders. Other consequences of gaslighting may include destroyed self-esteem, learned helplessness, fear of relationship, wounded ego, clinical depression, constant desire to apologize, the belief that you can do anything right, constant nervousness and anxiety, loss of trust in the world and other people, feeling of derealization, loss, feeling that you are losing your personality even, confidence that if something goes wrong, it is only your fault, a constant feeling that something is actually going wrong, although you can't understand what exactly. Feeling of constant hopelessness, disappointment. Also, gaslighting experienced can manifest itself in changes in habitual behavior. For example, you constantly want to please others, even to your own detriment. Doubt whether you said and did the right thing. For example, making excuses for the person who gaslights you to your friends and family, explaining everything as misunderstanding. People then solve all these problems with psychologists and psychotherapists and for quite a long time. So, how to resist gaslighting? Develop the ability to trust yourself and your feelings. Do not double-check the events in your memory, as this kind of check creates more and more doubt about the reality of facts and feelings. Defend your point of view. Try to clearly describe your feelings and the situation that caused them. For example, you can say something like, "I was very angry at your abusive behavior towards me, and now I am annoyed that you are trying to make me look crazy." Practice personal boundaries and independence from other people's opinions and influence. Write it down. Write down or record on a dictaphone. Simply put the turned-on device in your pocket and record conversations with your gaslighter at least for some days. Then you can go back to them and understand what exactly happened and what was actually said. This will show you that everything is fine with you and your memory, and you are not crazy. This may seem terribly or stupid or dishonest, but it's better to let the doubts turn out to be unfounded in the end. Gaslighting often involves a loss of identity. Over time, you may begin to feel that you have changed beyond recognition or become literally numb and empty. Constant anxiety and neurosis sucks up all your energy, and you have no strength left for activities that you used to love. So don't forget about your physical and emotional health, your needs, your self-esteem, even through force. Force yourself. Try to physically and emotionally distance yourself from the aggressor. When communicating with him, abstract yourself and think about something pleasant. React to his attacks calmly and formally agree with what was said. At the same time, avoid close contact as much as possible in the future. If you are familiar with everything I'm talking about, then like this video. If you have friends who are interested in this topic, send them a link to this video. And remember that you can schedule a consultation with me, and together we will resolve your request in a warm and friendly atmosphere. I would like to thank you in advance, all those who like, comment, share my videos with friends and subscribe to my channel. This is the electronic equivalent of gratitude and reciprocity. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.